By Fox College football analyst Joel Klatt. And I'm glad you're here for this, Joel, because I've been wanting to ask what you thought of it. But has Saban been mishandling the quarterback situation?
Well, I mean, yes and no, right? I think that his interactions with the press have been less than positive. However, I think he's been fair to both guys, and I think that's what he needed to do. You can say what you want about what happened last year in the national championship game, but it remains that Tua only played for one half, and their chips were in the middle of the table. He had to play Tua because of what was going on in that game, having to throw the football, and Tua made a couple of really bad mistakes. One, the interception, took the sack right before he threw the touchdown in overtime. So I think Nick, in the back of his mind, thought to himself, I believe that we're going to need to have this battle carry out into the beginning of the season, even though all of us sat there and thought, boy, you've got a different dynamic skill set with Tua than you do with Jalen Hurts. Now, having said that, I think he was fair to Jalen because Jalen had just led him to 2 straight national championship games. Now, Tua may have won one of them, but Jalen led him there. Only 2 losses as a starter. And as a player, that's all I can ask for is a coach to be fair to the opportunity that I feel like I deserve. And I think Hurts deserved the opportunity to start. And now, moving forward, Tua earned the opportunity to start. And I think that can be a distinction between the two. He's handled it okay. Publicly, not very well. Behind closed doors, as a player, I actually appreciate the way that he's handled it.
I agree. I think he's handled it as well as he could. A part of me thinks that he handled it this way because he didn't want Jalen Hurts to transfer.
Right.
And he knows that he's a hit away on his quarterback from Jalen Hurts being back in the ball game. But what Coach Saban was able to see Saturday night, on 5 of the 6 drives, Tua led him to touchdowns. The only time that he didn't, the wide receiver fumbled the ball in the red zone.
He was great.
And then he saw Jalen Hurts. Now, he got upset at Maria Taylor, and his apology, he said Marie. Now, maybe Maria has a twin named Marie and Maria Taylor, but that's neither here nor there. All she did was ask him, you had this quarterback battle skip going in. After tonight's game, is anything a little clearer?
Yeah. Do you have an answer?
Wow!
It's the proper question.
It's the proper
100%.
question. How dare you try to make me take a side and put one of my... No, that's not what you try to do, Coach Saban. But look, he should have said it handled it like this. I got to look at the tape. But Tua did play well. Now, he made a play down there, his first touchdown, that might bite us later. We don't teach that you're about to get sacked and you just throw it blindly in the corner of the end zone and the guy catches it. Skip, you talked about it yesterday. That's not what Coach Saban will preach, and he's not happy about that.
Yep.
But Tua right now is a better player at the quarterback position than Jalen Hurts.
Sure.
And I felt that Coach Saban was trying to be respectful because of what Hurts had done. As you mentioned, Joel, 26-2 is hard to argue. Taking you to 2 national championship games, but you're not winning that game against Georgia if Tua doesn't come in and do what he does. And so I think now we have a clear picture. You don't have to ask him anymore who's going to start, who's going to do this. Coach Saban wants Tua to go out there and play Arkansas State. I mean, hopefully this is a game with 35-0 at the half, and then Jalen Hurts can bring it home. He can still get some work. But I would be shocked after the season if Jalen Hurts doesn't transfer and be one of those grand guys.
You're probably right. So, first of all, I loved Coach Saban's carefully scripted non-apology apology yesterday, during which he reached for, I pray on Sunday that I don't get angry, and he also reached for mothers and fathers can sympathize with me with children because you don't want to vilify one and make a crown prince of another one. Stop it!
If one of them bad, you do.
Stop it!
Part I liked.
Stop it!
I mean, I got 3 boys. It depends on the day. Let's be honest.
So, way to go, Coach Saban. This is why I contend he is on razor's edge, and he was in the postgame interview on Saturday night. I don't think Tua is his cup of Gatorade. I don't think it's his style. Of quarterback play that he can sleep well at night with. Because, again, we talked about the first touchdown throw the other day and the other night. And then I remember the one, I'm watching my Vanderbilt Commodores getting shelled, and he comes into the game. Can we see this play? Because this is exactly...
When he spins around.
This is Tua. Tua for blessing and curse. This is Tua against Vanderbilt last year. He looks like he's about to be sacked, but he spins around, he does a 360, and he just heaves it, and it's right on target. It's beautiful because he is a really talented kid who's going to play outside Coach Saban's box occasionally. He's going to try things. You can't try that. Oh, but he pulled it off because I'm sure Saban on the sideline is like, no,
exactly.
Right? No, there are a lot of no yeahs with him.
It's true.
But is this the way he wants to win football games?
No.
I think not. But can you argue with it at this point?
Nope.
You cannot.
No.
Can you embrace it and trust it going forward? I think Coach Saban would tell you on a lie detector right now, no, you cannot.
I agree with
which
that.
is why he wants to keep Jalen emotionally afloat as the 1A, just in case things just fly apart one game against Arkansas State. I don't know if he comes out and throws 3 wild picks.
Yeah.
He wants Jalen to be emotionally stable enough to say, well, you didn't just push me, to the end of the bench, that you treated me correctly.
Right.
And so he'll be there for him if he needs him. And he might need him.
Here's what's interesting for me is that there was another quarterback situation brewing at another power, blue blood, and the coach declared early in order for the other quarterback to go and get another opportunity. And I'm talking about Ohio State.
Yeah.
After the spring football game, Dwayne Haskins and
did.
Joe Burrow were competing, and Urban Meyer came out and said, Dwayne's going to be my starter.
He did.
In respect for Joe as a graduate, that he can go transfer and have an opportunity to play. So he did, and where did he go? LSU, and all of a sudden he's on one of the grand stages in college football week one and played
he
pretty well.
Really well, I thought.
For getting there,
I know.
one half of summer to work out with those guys. So moving forward, I think now the respectable thing for Nick Saban to do is not play Jalen Hurts in over 4 games. Because the redshirt rule changed this year. You can play in 4 games and retain a redshirt.
Right.
He can still redshirt. Okay, he played as a true freshman. So if this is going to be to his team, I would ask Nick Saban if I was Jalen Hurts, don't play me in more than 4 games so that I can still transfer and have that sit-out year as a redshirt.
Right.
Now, I know he's closer
Does
to
he still
graduation.
get 2 years after that?
Well, he would have 3 years. 2 years after that. For me, it has everything to do with when he's going to earn his degree. Can he transfer as a graduate, or is he going to have to transfer with penalty?
I think he's going to be a graduate. I think
It's going to be very close.
Yes.
I think he might graduate this spring. But for me, that's where this is headed towards, right? So we can talk all we want about who's going to play next week or this week. If Jalen's not going to graduate in time and he's going to have to sit out once he transfers, I would go to Nick Saban and absolutely say, do not play me in over 4 games. So it's something to watch moving forward.
I just think Coach Saban should have apologized without explanation. Don't try to explain why
that's true.
To Maria.
You're right.
I agree with you.
Because you ask your players to maintain, because he said, the guys were getting penalties, they got dumb penalties, and they didn't contain themselves late in the ball game. The very thing that you get on your players for, you did.
Yep.
It was the equivalent of an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yes.
Except it was after the game.
Right.
Totally.
He was heated. He was heated. I mean, he did apologize. I mean, at least he did come out and say sorry. Coaches are heated. I actually am not.
But did he apologize
I've had
to Maria
coaches be
or
riled
Marie
up
Taylor?
to me, though.
Because I believe those are 2 different people.
They're 2 different people.
I think they are.
Maria handled herself very well.
She
Joel,
did.
thank
She
you
did.
for
She did
being
great.
here.
Yeah, you
And
bet.
up next, Hall of Famer LaDainian Tomlinson is here. We'll
Here
talk
we go.
to him about Ezekiel Elliott, Le'Veon Bell, and a lot more.
What's up, Hall of Fame?
But, man,
How you doing, man?
you good?
I'm great. Good to see you.
How are you?
Nice to
Hey,
see you.
you look good.
They did. But, I mean, it was a scrimmage game, really. Skip, how you doing?
Good to
Nice
see you.
to see you, man. Thank you.
See you, Joel.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Good to see you. Thanks
too.
for joining.